It's Wednesday and I'm doing a workshop tomorrow. So today my main goal is to just shout out about it, get some more sign-ups, anyone who's sitting on the fence or thinking about it. But really all I can think about is my daughter is in Vietnam. She finally landed in Vietnam. She's been away 3 months. And last night, so the last thing I do and the first thing I do every single day, I check where she is. I check she's still. I have no idea where she is. And when I look, it's normally like 3 o'clock in the morning and there is absolutely nothing I can do about it. She is where she is. I have to just accept it. But yesterday when I looked, she was in the middle of the water and I think it was 4:58. And I thought, she's travelling. There's no way she would be up at 4:58. Why is she in the middle of the water? And I started to get really panicky. I'll tell you what happened actually, why I checked. I always have a glance, but I actually went to sleep and I had a nightmare. I dreamt, it was really graphic and really horrible. Someone got run over by a massive lorry in my dream. And when I looked to see if they were okay, they weren't there, like they'd been disappeared. And it was really freaked me out. And I suddenly was like, I have to check where Darcy is. And I went to check and then she was in the middle of the water and I was like, oh. And I was like, Emma, get a grip. She's okay. Just go to sleep. See where she is in the morning. And then when I woke up in the morning, she was in the water in Cambodia. When I woke up in the morning, she was in Vietnam. So she was obviously getting a boat off of one of the small islands to the mainland so she could get to the airport and fly out. But my God, your brain just goes, doesn't it? It absolutely goes. And this is something that I've been trying to think about in a more rational way recently. I was speaking to a mentor friend and we were on a call, and when we finished, it was just me and her on the call. Everyone else had left. And we were saying how our kids come to us with problems, and they're adult kids now. My kids are 9. My travelling kid is 19 and my older daughter is 22. So they're older and they're not little kids. They come to you with big emotional problems and they'll message you or email you or contact you, and you sit down and you talk to them and you try and talk them off the ledge and you try and give them the tools that they need to move on from whatever it is that's bothering them. But they go away feeling better and happier and more ready to deal with it. And us parents are just left to deal with the emotion of our kids not being okay for 5 minutes. And it's really hard. It's really hard when you're sitting writing a landing page or trying to promote a workshop and you're getting bing, bing, bing. Now, my daughter's travelling. I cannot turn my notifications off because I have to be there for her. Now, obviously, I don't have to be there for her. I want to be there for her. But there is no option to turn off notifications. And I don't even think I would anyway. I think I have to be that I'm not a helicopter parent. I'm just I'm there for you parent. And I probably put them before I put work, which is probably how it should be. But it is just quite interesting to talk about how that actually affects you mentally. And so today I can relax because I've just seen a picture of her in Vietnam and they just have these incredible balconies, and obviously the plants are different. Also, the reason I can relax is because she's been in Australia, she's been in Thailand, and then she went to Hong Kong, she went to Cambodia, and now she's in Vietnam. And Vietnam is probably the top of her list. Of all the places she was travelling after Australia, Vietnam was the top of her list. And she was just like jumping on beans. She was so excited. So I'm really happy that she is now in a place where she can go ahead and enjoy all those scary... She showed me a video before she left of a massive hill or mountain, I don't know, just the most green landscape you've ever seen, just so luscious. And the road went like this, zigzag, zigzag, zigzag. And basically people hire moped taxi drivers and they sit on the back of them with their phones and they're like this. Now, as someone who managed to lose her phone in the middle of Sydney Harbour, I'm like, tether your phone, don't just hold your phone. When you're on the back of a bike, hold it. But the sheer drop on those roads is just terrifying. But that was the number one place she wanted to go. And there's a road, I think it's called the Golden Bridge, where the hands hold up the bridge. It kind of goes around, and she did the hands in Bangkok. So yeah, anyway, I'm talking about my kids. I've got such a long day today. I don't normally share stuff. This is something quite new for me. I'm kind of doing a bit of a vlog because I've got so much in my world. I mean, look, can you see just there? I usually try and hide that. I'm just doing no hiding. You can see the messiness everywhere. I'm not doing that in this vlog. That's my pull-up bar. I really want to be able to do pull-ups by the time I do Explorer Camp in the summer. So That's where you can see it. Anyway, I'm doing a workshop tomorrow with my lovely brother-in-law who is an accountant, and I need to push sales and I hate doing that. So today's main plan in the morning is to get newsletter sign up newsletters out to members and non-members of Inside Stylist, my website, and to do some socials. And then I've got someone picking up a tin of paint that I've sold that I haven't used. And then once that's done, I'm popping off to the post office. And then this afternoon, I'm going to be hopefully finishing some sugar paste roses for a wedding cake I'm making for just after the weekend. This is what I mean. I think there's so much going on behind the scenes that people just don't know about. I kind of think I'm an interior stylist and I must just share what I do as an interior stylist. And actually, there's so much more to it. Anyway, I will probably just try and jump on every now and again throughout the day just to share what's going on. I'm going to put this out as a weekly vlog, or that's the intention anyway. I hope this is going to be interesting to people. I hope there's something entertaining in here, or even if you just want to relate with a mother who is stressing out and could burst into tears every time you even mention how is my daughter Darcy, I could burst into tears. This is what I do all the time. She's been on 3 months. I should be used to it by now. Anyway, just last night really freaked me out. This will be a lot of interiors chat as well, and running a website and doing all sorts of workshops and all that as well. But we'll see how we go. Anyway, today is Wednesday, middle of the week. I was going to start Monday and I thought, no, I'm going to start right now. Anyway, so far, Wednesday morning. Let's go get second breakfast. It's Tuesday and I am doing a dog walk talk. Here's the dog. Look at this. How gorgeous is that? It's, I don't know, about 7:10 or something. Love it when the blossom's out. I am on it today. I've got the Making Tax Digital workshop with the lovely John at 2 o'clock, and I'm teaching styling for interiors for UAL at 6 o'clock. I've already got a cake in the oven. So the wedding cake I'm making, it's 3 tiers. I did the 6-inch last night. But I want it to be a really tall cake, so I'm doing it in 2 sections. Normally I bake a cake, cut it in half, fill it. But I want this to be a really tall cake, so each cake level is going to be 4. So I'm baking 2 cakes, cutting them in half. Jam goes between the top and the bottom, buttercream in the middle. But when it's a 10-inch cake, if I did it all in one go, it would be a really heavy cake. And I don't want that. So I usually would just split it into between 2 tins, but I don't have 2 10-inch tins. So I've split the recipe. So I'm doing half now. That'll come out the oven at about 8:30. And then while that's in the oven, I'm going to make some sugar syrup. Sugar syrup's great for keeping cakes moist. I'm going to make sugar syrup, get the other ingredients all ready to go, then quickly whop the cake out the oven and stick on the cooling rack and make the second cake. I really need it all done by 12. I need to be able to concentrate on the workshop. John's coming over at 1:30. Just get all set up. And oh goodness, gorgeous sunshine. So I'm really looking forward to that. I say that. I get really nervous at things like this, but I don't know why. I think it's not nervous to do it. I'm one of those rare people who isn't worried about standing and talking in front of people. I think it's because I've done so many chats like this, and I've run lots and lots of workshops. And also, I'm not the expert here. I don't need to know anything. I need to know what questions to ask, and I've already got all that ready. I sent the topics over to John last night. He said they all look good, like the running order of what I'd like to talk about, the order I'd like to talk about it, and also the questions that have already been sent in by the people who've signed up to the workshop. Anyway, I'm doing this now because I might not get a chance later. It's going to be such a beautiful day. I get near to the main road and it gets too noisy, so I'm going to sign off for now and maybe catch you later. It's Friday and I am in my kitchen. I'm actually in my dining room. My kitchen is just over there, open plan. I've swiveled my table around so I can face the window, even though it's unsurprisingly raining again. But it's a much brighter way of doing it. So I want to film some content of my baking setup and stuff. I did just try and record how I do this, but it didn't record, and I'm not going to worry too much because it's actually about wrapping the outside of the tin. Do you ever wrap the outside of your tins for baking? I'm making the middle tier today of the wedding cake I'm making for Monday, and it's a Madeira cake, which is why it's kind of quite near to the wedding. I want it to be as fresh as possible. And Madeira cake is traditionally quite a heavy cake, so I want to be able to lighten it by separating the batch into 2 tins and then cutting those cakes in half. But Madeira takes a long time to cook, and the outside can cook quicker than the inside, so I wrap the tin. Anyway, I'm going to do a separate video on that. I'm also, this is my trusty, my KitchenAid. I think I've had it, God, probably about 18 years. I was sent a KitchenAid sift and scale last year, and I didn't get on with it. And I've got much, I like it now. I love it now. And I was going to do a video to share it, and I didn't like it, so I didn't do it. And I felt really guilty because it was so expensive. Anyway, I'm going to talk about that in a completely separate video. And if you're not into baking, you can swipe on by. But if you are, go check out that other video. I'll put it out hopefully ahead of this. So actually, it won't be ahead of this. It'll be afterwards, because otherwise the wedding's going to happen and I'm not going to have a chance to edit. But basically, I'm going to do a video of the sift and scale that is actually really, really great for when you're making cakes that have lots of different ingredients going in, and you have to mix them all in a certain way. Madeira, you do flour and then water, flour, then water, flour, then water. And if you don't do that, it completely changes the consistency. Also, sorry, have I told you I've got ADHD and I speak really fast? I use this, and I've done a tweak, because I've made so many of these cakes. Like the 10-inch cake, I only have one 10-inch cake tin, so I did that cake twice. I've managed to get my mix not to curdle, which I find very difficult. But I'm warming the butter, so it's really, really soft, and that is half the trick. Anyway, I'm going to go crack on with making the cake. I'll share a link at the end to the videos of what I'm doing with the other videos. But yeah, the other thing I should probably mention is that Fridays I do squirrels. So squirrels is, it's quite a new thing. A lot of people haven't heard of it. It's only been going for about 5 years. But squirrels is, I call them baby scouts. It's the scouts group before beavers. So it's 4 to 6 year olds. I'm a volunteer or an assistant leader. I like to say volunteer because assistant leader sounds far too grown up and responsible. I'm an assistant leader, and I do that every Friday. And I signed up to do 1 session a term, and I ended up doing every single week, and I absolutely love it. I love it so much I actually looked at becoming something to do with going and working in a school, because I come out, it doesn't matter what mood I'm in when I go into squirrels, I come out after an hour and a half of sheer exhaustion and adrenaline. I come out so happy. But it's the squirrel leader who is the bride at the wedding. It's her cake, so I'm going to be seeing her later. So I definitely need this middle tier cooked, so I can say to her, everything's under control, the cake is baked, my whole house is going to smell delicious. Hopefully it will dome a little bit so I can slice a bit off the top and eat it with my 4 o'clock coffee. Anyway, I'm going to dash, but I will share a little bit about this later. It's Saturday. We're on the high street because we're going to visit Dennis. Dennis is the haberdashers who we get all our zips and ribbons and threads and everything from. And I'll see if I can show you his stall in a second. I'll do a whiz round. I'm coming to get ribbon. I want to put a big corsage on the jacket I'm wearing to the wedding, and because the jacket is so plain and dull and boring and not really what I would normally wear, but I want to put a big corsagey ribbony thing on it, and I'm going to get some ribbons to make bows for my shoes. I'll show you them later, but let me show you his stall. Hello. Hello. I'm just doing a quick video of everything people can get at your stall. Because I said they can get everything. In case you didn't hear that, he's asking if I'll do hair and makeup. Look at the buttons. If you need a button, Dennis has the buttons you need. Look, seriously. Or if you need a zip, he has the zips you need. Or ribbons. I could go on and on, but I need to shop. It's Sunday. Normally I'm in the woods on a Sunday, but today I'm on my own, so we're doing a quick walk, me and him, who's over somewhere over there. That little dot is Alan Taylor. Hurt my my neck, cricked my neck. I'm gonna have to hold you with my other hand. I realise that I never really came back to you about the workshop that I ran on Thursday. So it was really good. So John, my brother-in-law, the accountant who was doing the workshop with me on making tax digital, was just exactly how I would expect it to be. He's so chill and he's so kind of easygoing. He's really easy to talk to. So if you are confused about something or just need something explaining in really good English, he was the perfect person to have on. So I always lose the dog. He's by my feet and I'm looking for him out in the wild, and he's just by my feet. So John was really, really good, and he answered so many questions, and the questions were popping up in the Zoom call, in the chat, and I was reading them out, and I said to people, this is going to be available on replay, so you can ask all your questions, but I won't be saying names. So I'm going, this person, this, and I was like, blah, 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 reading it out. And I would read these questions and I'd turn to John and go, did you understand that question? And he'd go, I didn't do it in a patronising way. I just said, did you understand no, I know what I said. I said, do you understand what that question is asking? And he said, yes. And I said, good, because I didn't understand a word of it. Like people would use subsistence and just words that I know what that is, but just words that I didn't recognise. And then when he explained what it was, I went, oh, I didn't realise that was called that. Anyway, he was really good. It went for exactly an hour, which was perfect. And you know when something's good when I shared a code. So I use a Metal bank account, which is kind of linked through to NatWest. And when you have a Metal bank account, you have access to Free Agent for free because they own Free Agent. Free Agent is a online accounting package of software. And I shared the code. Actually, I will share it in below because I think it's useful for people. I shared a code, excuse me. And basically, if you sign up to Metal, and then when you get a card, the first time you use the card, you put a code in. And if you do that, you get £50 and I get £50. And it's capped. There's only so many times that I can get that kind of referral code thing. But I thought, well, I'm sharing John and all his expertise. I'm going to share this code. So when I shared it, I had someone come up to me the next day and say, thank you so much. That was really useful, which is always good to hear. You've nailed what it is that the whole point of the workshop was to share knowledge and help people. So that was really good. But they were saying, can you share the code again? And I was like, oh, that's really good. They really have kind of grabbed onto everything we were talking about. And I got messages saying thank you to John. It was really useful. He's so easygoing, and he opened himself up to answer questions moving forwards. Like if people still have a problem, he said just drop me an email. So that was really good. I'm thinking about making the whole workshop. Alan, don't run off. Near the door. Near the door. I'm near the road. I was thinking about making it downloadable so people can still download it even if they missed that workshop iteration, because it's so useful. But what happened afterwards, so whenever I do something like this that's quite serious, I tend to get really stressed, and I was less stressed afterwards. Not stressed about doing the workshop. I have no problem running the workshop. I really enjoy the workshops. I enjoy the banter. I enjoy hearing the questions that people have coming through and listening to the answers, and especially when you've got an expert on. But I had I have this kind of this responsibility. I'm sharing stuff and I feel very responsible. And then afterwards, I was on such a high. John and I sat chatting for about 40 minutes or something afterwards. Then he left, and it was such a sunny day. He walked home, and I went and had something to eat, another cup of tea or something. And then, you know, when you're looking at your screen, you go, is that something bright on the screen or is that migraine lights? And it was migraine lights. And I basically had 2 hours between that point and teaching online for 2 hours. So I had to get my head in the right place. So sorry, it's very cold and damp out today. I went and got paracetamol and ibuprofen, which is what I take every time. I take two paracetamol, 2 ibuprofen, loads of water, and then I had a really big cup of tea, and I lay down in the living room and covered my eyes up so that I was in the dark, and just tried to make it go away. And I set an alarm so I wouldn't sleep through the time I was supposed to start teaching, and I basically slept, and I woke up and I just felt wrung out. I just felt awful. If you ever had a migraine, I don't have them very often. In fact, I haven't had one for a very long time. But when I get them, they can be really debilitating. So I caught it just in time, but I felt a bit fragile, like I couldn't move my head too much. And it went just in time for the teaching. So then I taught in the in the evening, which was also really good. And I just was normally I'm very bubbly and very, oh, this is great. But it's a really good cohort, this session. It's always lovely. People who are into interiors are always lovely. We're homemakers. But this group have picked it up very quickly. They talk to each other, which I love. I love it when they support each other, when they kind of present their work in the it's like a Zoom. It's like that, the school's online own Zoom thing. They sit in the chat and they go, oh, I love your mood board. That's really great. I love that sofa. I love that light. And it's just really lovely. So, yeah, so that was really good. But I was wiped out. And this is because I am an extroverted introvert. So I'm very good at being bubbly. I'm very good at talking. I'm very good at standing in front of crowds and doing panel discussions and all of that sort of stuff. Quite happy to stand in front of a room full of people and talk. I don't, I get nervous, but I don't have the fear that people do, that standing in front and talk for other people. I don't have that. But when I do anything like a workshop or any talks or anything like that, I'm absolutely wiped out the next day. So on Friday, I had to give myself some time to just chill. So you will have seen that I actually baked a cake, and I did a lot of running around and things that don't require too much not too much thinking, just gave myself an easier day to recover. And I think there was a little bit of the kind of on the go introverted need to reset sort of mode, but also that migraine was it was quite a lot. I felt just wrung out. So Friday was really, really chill. Yesterday I did cake covering, decorating, stacking. It's really hard when you've got 3 layers. You've got to make sure every single layer is flat, because obviously if you start going off, you're going to have a problem, and it takes a really long time. I started cake decorating at 11 and I finished when we had dinner at 7, and that was literally just cutting them, putting jam, putting buttercream, making the buttercream, and then covering them in sugar paste. They're not stacked. I'm stacking them at the venue so I can travel with them and they don't topple over. But yeah, it took me about 7-8 hours just to do that. And that's why wedding cakes are so expensive. I mean, even, it's not that I'm not professional. I am very experienced in this. I've done a lot of stacking cakes. I've done a lot of wedding cakes, actually. For friends, I don't really do it for, in fact, I've never done it for a paid customer. I only do it for family and friends. And I don't really do it at all. And I've got to say, I was loving it. I was watching films. I was watching, I watched Jerry Maguire. I watched, what's it called? The Greatest Showman. I was singing along. I was having such a good time. Anyway, we had pizza last night, and I decided I just was going to give myself the rest of the evening off to relax, so that today, Sunday, I can just finish off the flowers. Most of them are done. I just need to assemble them all together and get them ready to just pop on the top of the cake when we get to the venue and when I arrange them. But it will probably take all day. I was really gutted though, because there is rumblings of boot sales coming up. Now, I am a massive boot sale fan. I go practically every single week, sourcing treasure, sourcing props, sourcing just beautiful vintage wares, things that I'm collecting. I'm always collecting something. I don't know what I'm going to be collecting this year yet. I'll have to think of something. I'll probably see something and then go, right, that's it. The rest of the season I'm looking for pink candlesticks or whatever it is. So I will see. Oh, sorry, Alan, sorry, Alan, come, stay. Oh, he just ran up to another dog, being cheeky monkey. Stay. This young girl was walking, and I think she was a bit worried he was going to eat. I mean, the other dog was bigger than Alan, but he just ran up. Don't do that. What was I saying? Can't remember what I was saying. Oh yeah. So there was a boot sale. It was supposed to be happening, but it got rained off, and I'm very glad it got rained off, because I'd be gutted to miss the first one of the season. But it does mean I'm walking in drizzle and cold, damp weather. Anyway, I'm going to get back to the house now so I can finish making roses, and then tomorrow we'll be delivering the cake and I will share it with you. But this post needs to come out. I want to get my videos out on a Sunday. I don't know what time yet. You tell me what you think. I want to do these videos Monday to Sunday and then put them out on Sunday. Actually, maybe I'll just talk to you first thing Sunday morning, and then what happened on Sunday during the day can be in the next video, because I'm going to be going to boot sales and I'm not going to want to faff about. So I'm not quite sure what time I should be putting my videos out. I don't know why, but in my head I'm thinking 2 o'clock on a Sunday. I don't know. When do you like to see videos? I don't even know if you care. Do you care on YouTube? You follow people when it pops up, you watch it, right? Or do you wait, the ones you like? Because my husband likes these guys that post their weekly vlogs on a Sunday, and he watches them every Sunday religiously, loves them. It's like watching your favourite TV programme. He loves them, so maybe I should do a bit of that. Anyway, I'm going to sign off for the week. I'm going to go home, make roses, and you can catch up next week on how it all went. Thanks for hanging by. Thanks for sticking by. Thanks for hanging by. Thanks for being here.